everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Love for Special Thinkers. If you're new, thanks for joining, and don't forget to subscribe to the family to get more tips and tricks about special education. So as you can see by the title of this video, I'm going to talk to you about a few ways that you can make money as a teacher over the summer. So for me specifically, I teach ESY, Extended School Year, in my school district for special education. So due to COVID-19, this is all virtual, and I also make a little extra cash by tutoring virtually. So every summer for the past 4 years, I offer tutoring service to a select number of students. And so this summer, I reached out to the families to see if they were still interested, and I do all of that virtually. So in this video, you'll get a tour of my little classroom/office area, because a lot of these things that I have behind me, I use to teach. So I'm going to give you a few helpful things about that, and then I am also going to give you a few virtual learning tips for not only tutoring, but also just for your regular school year. So if you're interested in this video, stay tuned. So my tips for making money over the summer, especially for tutoring virtually, is to be organized. So you really need to be organized. You need to know what you want to use to the students, and you need to make things accessible to parents. So for instance, for my students that I teach virtually for tutoring, I offered a week of free services. So we practiced Zoom one time. It was not, they were not paying me during that week, but I put about 5 assignments on there that helps them practice, like the pen tool on Seesaw, or the draw tool on Seesaw, how to type on Seesaw, and I told the parents to kind of help the student get familiar with the app. So then when we start tutoring officially, they will know how to use all of the features of Seesaw in order to do the work that I'm assigning to them. Now, I know not everyone likes Seesaw. I like it personally because I've used it in my classroom. So you can use Seesaw, you can use Google Classroom, you can use Canvas. Those are a few things that I'm familiar with, but I really like Seesaw, especially for the level of students that I'm working with to tutor this summer. And we also use it for my district, so it just kind of works out. But it is very important to allow parents to become familiar with whatever application or whatever system that you are using. So like I said, I offered a free week of that where I assigned assignments in Seesaw, and we practiced a Zoom call, and we practiced the annotate feature, because I didn't want to start tutoring and then they don't know how to use it, and the students are frustrated, the parents are frustrated, and then I become frustrated, and that's just not being organized and professional. And that leads me to my next point. It's very important to be professional. So if you're going to call yourself a tutor for the summer, you need to present yourself as such. So you need to be professional. So I provided each family with a PDF form of the days that I was going to meet with them, how much I was going to charge them, their Zoom links, how many assignments they were going to get, the parent codes for Seesaw. All that was provided on a PDF 2 weeks prior to us starting the 2 weeks prior to us starting the tutoring session. I will insert a picture right here of the PDF form that I provided to the parents. All payment information and all student names will be blacked out for confidentiality purposes. So it's just very important to be organized and be professional, and then know your worth. So I'm not going to tell you how much to charge for tutoring. I am not going to tell you how much I charge for tutoring, but know your worth. So if you think all the work you're putting in is worth a certain amount of money, then charge that much. And then if parents don't want to pay it, that's them, but never settle for less. You know your worth. You know how much work you're putting into the assignments you're providing them. You know how much work you're putting into preparing your Zoom lessons. So just know your worth. All right, so as you can see, I am in my virtual classroom, and so behind me are all the things that I need to teach remotely for my tutoring students and for my extended school year students. So over here, I of course have my office jet printer. I recently ran out of ink, so I do need to order some ink. I have my computer and my bucket of goodies is what I like to call them. So these are some things that I like to show my students when I'm teaching them on Zoom. And as you'll see at my clip a little later, I will show you how I utilize these things on Zoom. For tutoring virtually and for my extended school year, I use all of the manipulatives that I showed you, as well as Zoom using the annotate feature and the unique learning system. But for my tutoring sessions in particular, I love using Seesaw. So what I do is I assign each student 5 to 7 activities to work on throughout the week. And then for their Zoom lesson, I incorporate something that I assign to them throughout the week on the Zoom lesson. So if we are focusing on the sight word every, I assign them an activity in Seesaw about the sight word every, and then also on their Zoom call, we practice that word together. We practice spelling it, we practice writing it, and that sort of thing. So I assign 5 to 7 activities, and then I meet with the students 1 time per week on Zoom. And so everything flows together for the students that I tutor virtually over the summer. Hi guys, so in this clip you are looking at a Google Slide presentation. I use Google Slides for all of my Zoom lessons, and it kind of just helps us keep track of the lesson. So I track attendance, I have a visual calendar, I have communication boards, I am working for charts, first then boards, and then as well as all the links and activities needed to complete the lesson for the day. So if we're working on certain words, certain letters, the students have everything in front of them, and I allow them to respond and answer to questions using the annotate feature on Zoom, or I give them remote control access to click their answers. So all of this is on Zoom, and it makes it easy for myself to follow and for the students to follow along as well. Now in this next clip, you can see a small part of a Zoom lesson where a student was working on the number 3. So this is how they use the annotate feature to circle what is presented to them on the Google Slide on my end, on my computer. So Google Slides is just a great way to stay organized during virtual learning. Alright guys, so that's it for this video. I hope you learned ways to make money as a teacher over the summer, especially right now during COVID-19. So just as a little recap, I do ESY, extended school year for my district, and I also offer tutoring services remotely. So I hope you got a lot of virtual learning tips from this video, not only if you're doing ESY, if you're tutoring, or if you just want to take these into the new school year in the fall. I just hope that you got a lot of tips, and I hope that you continue to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Have a good one. Bye.